Hi, and welcome to my new series on Shakespeare's most misunderstood characters and plays. We'll be looking at Macbeth, Midsummer Night's Dream, Merchant of Venice, Othello. And I thought we'd start with Lady Macbeth, though, because she's probably the most misunderstood character of them all. Okay, now this is about the play Macbeth, so that means some of the language is quite shocking at times. So if you're not feeling up to it, that's okay. Click on something else now, but hopefully you will come back at some time. So, Lady Macbeth. You probably know something about her already, otherwise you wouldn't have clicked on this video. Thanks for staying, by the way. She's the bloodthirsty one, who, as soon as she hears that Macbeth could become king by murdering King Duncan, goes into some kind of weird witch-like trance. Come, you spirits that turned on mortal thoughts, unsex me here and fill me from the crown to the toe, top full of direst cruelty, she says. On another occasion, she talks about dashing a baby's brains out, and she carefully prepares the murder for her husband to do by laying out the daggers ready. Yes, that's right, daggers. Macbeth isn't going in for a swift, clean kill with just one dagger. This is appalling violence. And when Macbeth has second thoughts before the murder, he realises that Duncan is a good king, loved by both the angels and his people. He also remembers that King Duncan loves and respects him. They are related, don't forget. And Duncan has recently made Macbeth Thane of Cawdor for his loyal services. He has second thoughts. It's only ambition, he says, that's the reason why he should want to become king. He goes to Lady Macbeth and says, "We will proceed no further in this business." Note that imperative verb phrase, "we will proceed no further." He's doing his best to appear the typical macho Jacobean man. But Lady Macbeth gets really angry and shouts at him. She chucks a bunch of rhetorical questions at him, not letting him get a word in edgeways. She calls him a coward and not a real man, and he backs down almost immediately. He's an interesting character. He's really, really strong physically. We know that because he killed one of the traitors in battle by unseaming him from the nave to the chaps. That stabbed him in the stomach and slitted him open. And then he beheaded him. That takes some strength. But mentally he's not so strong. Lady Macbeth manipulates him easily, and he soon forgets his second thoughts and agrees to her regicidal plan. So. After all that, can I really persuade you that Lady Macbeth is far from the bloody villain everyone makes her out to be? I'll try. Shouldn't we always try to look beneath the surface of things? It's easy to judge, to condemn. At heart, we humans can be a mob-like species, quick to jump to easy conclusions and attack anyone we think falls out of line. And that's a shame. The thing is, if we listen to her more closely, we can see that Lady Macbeth has suffered. She has one of the sweetest lines in all Shakespeare. "I have given suck and know how tender 'tis to love the babe that milks me." Listen to the delicacy of that alliteration, tender 'tis to love. She has been a mother, but there is no evidence that her child is still here. It must have died. And it must have died only recently, because when she calls on the spirits for strength, she says, "Take my mother's milk for gall." In other words, she wants her mother's milk to turn to poison. We can read that as her simply being nasty, or we can understand that she's only just lost her baby. She still has mother's milk, and that compounds her grief. Imagine that. Her whole being, her body ready to nurture her newborn child, tormenting her beyond endurance. These days, in many societies, we might expect a woman to receive sympathy, to be able to access care and understanding. That wouldn't have been the case in Jacobean England. Women were just expected to get on with it. She mentions milk 3 times in that first part of the play. She can't get it out of her mind. Then, after the murder, her husband breaks down. He says, "Oh, full of scorpions is my mind, dear wife." No doubt she feels her head is full of biting insects too, but she can't allow herself to admit it. She tries to hold it all together, but she can't. In the end, Lady Macbeth breaks down. She sleepwalks endlessly, hallucinates blood on her hands, "out damned spot," she says. And she says, "All the perfumes of Arabia will ne'er sweeten this little hand." Note the plosive t sound, little, which seems to add a soft explosion of sorrow inside the word. She can't hide her grief anymore, but she still can't voice the true cause of it. She just isn't strong enough for this word. All her bombastic words were her pathetic way of trying to overcome her intense grief over the child that did not survive. She couldn't think straight. A victim of the Jacobean patriarchy, she takes her own life. We don't see this, but Shakespeare did include the sound of women screaming in the stage directions. Those screams, sorrow too deep for words, might represent the wordless pain of all women during the reign of that wicked, misogynistic and witch-obsessed King James. Just 2 more points now. After the banquet scene, where she tries desperately to calm Macbeth down when he hallucinates, or really sees, who knows, the ghost of Banquo, she disappears for a long period before we see her again in that last scene. Her absence is so long and so stark that some scholars suggest that there must be pages missing from the folio. No. For sure, there's a history of missing pages in plays from that period, and play scripts were added to over time and sometimes censored. But that absence of Lady Macbeth, that long silence, is a metaphor for the silencing of so many women during the Jacobean period. Shakespeare knew what he was doing. And finally, another if only. Macbeth really did love his wife. Throughout the play he calls her in sweet terms, dearest Chuck, dear wife, dearest love. But it's clear he is so full of poisonous masculinity. I dare do all that may become a man, he says, that he could never have been a consoling, understanding husband. Lady Macbeth lived a long time ago, but let's be kind to her now, and learning from her, be kind to everybody. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Disagree with me if you want. Go for it. And thanks for listening, and good luck in all you do. Bye-bye.